Hello, and welcome to my channel. Today, I'm going to be talking about my running hot takes. I'm going to get a little controversial, and I'm going to share my top 5 most controversial running takes. And this is only going to be about running itself. It's not going to be about track and field as a sport, or professional track and field, or fueling, or nutrition, or anything like that. It's just as central to running as humanly possible. So let's kick it off with number 1. Number 1 is I prefer gradual incline over steep incline, and I think you can run faster on a gradual incline compared to a steep incline, which I know is so controversial because there are so many people who would rather have straight up for like 50 meters compared to a slow half-mile uphill slog. I am not one of those people, okay? I would rather have that slow incline because for me, I just feel like it's so much harder to maintain your good running form when cresting a really steep hill compared to maintaining your good running form when you're cresting a more gradual incline. And I feel like it's a lot easier to maintain your running form, maintain your mental stamina when the hill is more gradual, because that does make it more mental and it allows you to block it and allows you to achieve it slowly while maintaining your physical form that you need to be able to succeed. And obviously, a lot of this is also going to depend on your training, but I have trained steep hills. I hardly ever train graduals. I have in the past, but I don't now because I feel like I'm really strong at them. I always train steep hills because I feel like I suck at them and I just never get better at them. I get better at them, but I will still always prefer a gradual hill, even when I've only been training steep hills. So maybe that's just me, but I feel like they are a lot more approachable in a certain sense. Moving on to number 2, and that is too much strength training is really a hindrance to your training. Like I said, I'm trying to keep this running central, but running and training are like this, they're hand in hand. So I wanted to throw this one in here as well. I feel like strength training is one of the easiest ways to overtrain because as runners, we're not used to the cues that our body is telling us we're doing too much strength training. Like, we're used to the cues of our body telling us we're running too much. So I feel like overtraining can be a massive concern when we talk about strength training. And also, it can negatively impact your running consistency, especially if you're lifting really heavy weights. Even if you don't notice it, you're not going to go out and want to do a long run the next day if you're trying to max out squats or whatever you may be doing. So I feel like strength training is good and it's great to include, but I feel like mainly it is great for a mental aspect. It's great to vary up your training so that your brain can be in a better headspace and you don't lose your mind. I feel like physically, the best thing you can do physically is run. That is how you train your core. That is how you train your legs. You run. So I feel like it mainly plays into that mental role. And I feel like if you're going really, really heavy, it can be of hindrance to your running training. And I want to be clear, I'm talking about people who don't have goals in the gym. If you have goals in the gym, that's fine. I'm just talking about people whose goal in the gym is to make their running times faster. Light weights, training sparingly is usually the best option because the most important thing is going to be your consistency, your mileage, how long you spend running. Moving on to number 3, and this one I feel like I see so much debate on, and that is shoe rotation is vital. Now, lots of people praise running as being a sport that's easy to get into because all you need is a pair of shoes. That being said, a lot more goes into running than just a pair of shoes. For me, it's a very expensive sport, but I also buy a lot of unnecessary things. Like, I'm sitting here, and in this chest, there's probably 17 pairs of running sunglasses. So I do not only do the bare necessities by any means, but I still think shoe rotation is really important, even if you are running basically on bare necessities. Obviously, if you're a beginner, you might want to wait a little while before you make the investment to have a shoe rotation. but in my experience, shoe rotation actually saves me money because your shoes will last so much longer if you're not wearing them every single day and if you're rotating them out. And at this point, I have my shoes I wear for long runs, my shoes I wear for hill workouts, my shoes I wear for sprint workouts, my shoes I wear for track workouts, the shoes I wear for cross-country workouts. Like, I have so many different pairs. At any given time, I'm probably rotating through about 6 to 7 pairs of shoes, and that is a little overkill. You can do less, you can just do 2 pairs, but I feel like that will still maintain some of those benefits because you will see your shoes lasting for more mileage. I've definitely noticed that since I increased the amount of shoes that I'm wearing and made sure that I am not wearing my shoes every single day. And obviously there are brands of shoes that will be impacted more than this, and brands that will be impacted less by these kinds of changes, but in general, it's a good thing to do if you have the ability to. And moving on to number 4, which is another super controversial one, is effective stretching is better than lots of stretching. Lots of people think when it comes to stretching, the longer the better. I completely disagree with that. And not only from a actual physical standpoint, but also just from from an applicability standpoint. Because it's really hard to apply these long stretching routines before and after every workout, and I find that unless you're some sort of immortal species, you'll forget sometimes you just won't want to do it, sometimes you won't have time to do it. So I think it is so much better to have a short, sweet, simple, and effective stretching routine. I'm going to show you mine one day, my pre and post, because my pre and post run stretching routines, 4 stretches each. 4 stretches each. Quick, simple, get in, get out, be as effective as possible, stretch as much as possible, but they're also quick and easy, so I can make sure I hammer them out every single time I'm doing a run without exception. And with that, we are moving on to our final one, number 5. And this, again, is another more personal one, but I feel like it applies to a lot of people, and I am so sorry because I think this is the most controversial one on this list. You run cross-country faster when you're a little bit cold. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, okay? Look, I have tried every single 5K warm-up known to man, every strategy, every this, every that, every stretching routine, every warm-up routine, different intervals, different this, that, the other thing. I have tried it. And for me, the best thing that I can do is get on the line, do strides, and still have a little tightness in my legs. And I truly don't know if this is just me, but I feel like it's not. I feel like that allows me to run so much more consistently and split consistently and have negative splits and start off in a manner that means I can catch people, I can go one by one, working up to people, and I feel like I do that so much more efficiently when I'm just a little bit cold, when I'm not already super into it. And I don't know why this is. I think it's because I still have a little bit of a track mentality where sometimes I like to go out too hard, even though in track I literally go out so slow. In everything I do, I go out slow. My favorite racing strategy is go out slow and chase the pack. In most of my cross-country races, at the starting line, off the line, I am literally in last place 99% of the time, and then I just catch the entire way. Like most of my races, I don't have a single person pass me the entire race. Like, that's just how I run them, and I don't know if it has something to do with that or what it has something to do with, but for me, I just feel like my best times are when I'm still a little cold on the line, when I am not perfectly warmed up. I don't mean not perfectly stretched. Stretch properly. Make sure you're perfectly stretched. But not being perfectly warmed up and my legs not being perfectly stretched out, because, well, when I say stretched out, I mean like, not like I haven't, because you need to stretch. I just mean like my stride. Like I haven't really engaged it quite yet. And yeah, I just feel like I run so much faster, so much better that way. which I know is so controversial, but that's what this video was all about. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!